Bonjour, y'all, and welcome to Of Venus. My name is Ollie, and let us continue our progression through this lunar cycle. We're coming out of the waning gibbous moon and still in the aftershocks of the full moon in Aquarius. Now the moon has entered its exalted sign of Taurus and is squaring the sun in Leo in a beautiful, releasing 270-degree waning square. And I thought it would be best to synthesize both this aspect and the upcoming dark moon in Cancer just to highlight the point of their significance in dealing with this gorgeous new moon we'll have in Leo the next week. As you can see, I am in the middle of the botanical gardens here in Transylvania. So it's a handheld raw DIY experience. There will be different annoying sounds around. But welcome to the Botanical Gardens in Cluj-Napoca in Transylvania. What a more perfect place to talk about a moon in Taurus, right? A botanical garden. At least we'll sort of feel a certain sense of ease coming up these few days, but not really. I'm just looking at this wonderful new moon in Leo, and I have to say that it looks like the most beautiful for a while. At least until Saturn goes out of Capricorn and the 18th of December. So this is like a new moon that will propel us through a very tense and hectic, intense autumn. And so that's so important about this new moon is you can't really um, go in and synthesize all the essence of a new moon without really taking your best course of action in the two lunar phases before. So right now the moon has crossed the 270th degree from the sun to the moon. That means it's in a lovely waning square. Taurus and Leo, both fixed signs, both the middle of a season, but hey, go, shoo. The nature is alive with the sound of annoyance. So Taurus is mid-spring, Leo is mid-summer. We just left the point of midsummer in the northern hemisphere. So now the moon is in its exalted sign of Taurus. Every planetary body has an ancient exalted sign, and the moon's exalted sign is in Taurus. So that means she, it, him, is at full potential. And it's just about, this moon is about the habits we enjoy, the habits we do unconsciously. And when the moon is in a waning square with the sun, it's time to let go of habits that don't add any sort of value in our life. Habits that just have reached their due date, um, it has expired into irrelevance, and now with this waning square, that's what waning means. It is time to focus on release instead of getting, right? So there's a verb that I really want to focus on, and that is to entrust. To entrust and forego a habit. You've learned all that you could from this said habit. So now you have to release it back into the wild, back into the void, back into the existence from where we came in. For you to be ready for this new moon, it's going to be like a wonderful grand fire trine of maximizing potential, a portal of self actualization. That's what I'm seeing in this wonderful new moon, and I'm very excited about it because it's we ain't gonna have this much easy, tangible fire until we uh, until basically Aries season next year. So it's a bit of the last gas stop until we finish all the last trials and tribulations that Saturn and Capricorn has in store for us. It is going to be a very, very interesting autumn. So this is time to take in all the energy and get ready for the last Capricorn confrontations in this very feral year. So, waning square and waning crescent, which is the dark moon, balsamic moon, the first 3 days, the last 3 days of a lunar cycle, and the 3 days before the next lunar cycle. So, this happens from now, at the time of this recording, in 12th of August up until the 18th when the new moon is. So I invite you all, the best thing you can do during a waning moon is to relax, rest, release. Why hold on to things that don't matter anymore? Why are you a hoarder of hollow habits? Like, it's good to be out in nature, a glade, a ditch, a hole in the earth, a valley. You can release the things you don't need anymore with absolute certainty in knowing that the earth will accept that as a gift. These are negative feminine spaces that will accept your rewards of the um, trophies and the failures your past habits taught you, and will gladly nourish itself with them and then release it back through the world for everyone else to use those teachings for their own self actualization. Just be still in silence. Look around you. Things are more simple than people think it is. We always have a tendency. Whoa, there's my bag. There's my bag. Yes, and people are more. People sometimes, we human beings tend to overly complicate some things that maybe is just as simple as this branch over here, right? Oh, as you can see, there are starting to be some leaves that are getting ready for autumn more than the other leaves. That's fine. They're doing good waning moon magic. Let nature be your teacher and start to cast off some of the leaves you don't need anymore. They have bloomed at their fullest potential. Now it's time to release. One of the ways I started learning astrology was through just focusing on the waxing and the waning phase of the moon. When it's waxing, it's time to really focus on the things you like about yourself that you really want to put focus on and to move forward with. And when it's the waning part, it's time to just focus on the things you don't need anymore. Simple things like I ate something that didn't sit well with me. I said something on a phone call that didn't sit well with me, and others. Just simple, banal, mundane, essential. These are the essential building blocks of life. That's what Taurus teaches us. It is mid spring, and now we're letting go of that harvest that didn't that or fully self-actualized, fully bloomed, and it's ready to go back into the earth, or we're letting go of the seeds that just failed to get off the ground as best as they could. This just goes on from what we talked about at the Waning Gibbous. It is think back at the harvest. What have you been creating this year? How have you been creating this year? Are you learning something? Are you dispersing your own knowledge to the world and getting advice, understanding from others? Now it's time to let go of the values that don't bear any fruit. And you do that by just trust in the natural process of things. People trust that nature, it's summer right now in the northern hemisphere. People trust that along the line this will turn into autumn. Autumn is closer than spring right now. So we're talking about actual release. So entrusting the elemental simple process of um, uh, negative bloom. That's the feminine. That's what we as a society have been forgetting. That this is natural, this is okay. Things don't work out, and you put the things that don't work out back into nature, and they'll teach somebody else. So I invite you this upcoming week to have a simple process of writing things down, crossing them out, you know, not eating this anymore, being more simple. Just be more simple. Enjoy a simple walk. By the way, I love hearing planes because that means that it just re-emphasizes that, you know, reality will still go on. We're coming into a new normal. We can live better together with nature and the nature inherent in our own selves if we worship both feminine and masculine in equal reverence. And after that, after this waning square, so just think of values, just concepts, your own currency system, your own personal currency system, and how that is devalued and outdated. Just give it back to Earth. Earth knows what to do with it. And this dark moon is gonna be a more heavy dark moon. The semi-square that's gonna happen between moon and sun is gonna be in Cancer, so the moon will naturally oppose all the bad boys and gals in Capricorn, Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn. Woo. What a better time to let go of that pressure and entrust. And there are certain things we cannot control right now. And trust me, from a huge Virgo like myself, this was a very simple and important lesson to learn. To just do the Pisces thing and take a step back and go, okay, maybe the things I want to control aren't the best things I should control. And just focus on every step of the way in simple, diligent elegance, right? So with this dark moon in Cancer, which is going to be at her fullest strength, it's going to be a moon where the holy and sacred art of rest is at its forefront. What a better time to sleep a bit more, sit in silence a bit more. All the answers you need are already in here and in here, especially in here, right? And it's time to really just connect with them by put your back to the floor and work with release and trust and trust and trust. Sleep more, sit in silence more. Now is not the time to really go full beans ahead, right? Just full throttle. It's more measured response, more self-care, more self-discipline. Because this new moon is gonna be amazing. Remember, new moons are both endings and beginnings, and we need to treat it like an ending first. This dark moon from 15th, 16th, 17th of August, those are the days where you'll feel a lot of pressure and maybe you're feeling a bit. Stress is a collective um, trauma. It's not really that personal. It's a frequency wave like a radio. You're tuned in, and there's a lot of it during this time of liminality and transition in our own collective consciousness. It's time to trust the dark. One thing you can do during this dark moon is to be more at peace with the dark. Sit more in, when it's night, just let night be. Sit in silence more. Don't be afraid of empty space. Empty space is sacred. Empty space is feminine. Empty space is where you let go of the things that you don't need anymore for them to be reborn, trusting the process of universality and nature to make everything come out on the other end as a new spring. But now it's time to completely casting off all semblances of control. You'll have much more um, sovereignty in your own life by uh, resting. There's a lot of things to do. We all are busy. We all have things on our plate. Take a step back. Say out loud to nature, to your own self, look, I got this covered. I got this under control by belief. Relearn the feminine hidden in Capricorn. Saturn in Capricorn is a she. So let's uh, stop thinking about us against old systems of control and more, how can I be a force of everlasting goodwill and change upon this planet, upon this reality, upon the 3D, by marrying Cancer and Capricorn, by seeing the mother side of Capricorn and seeing the powerful side of Cancer. This is a great moon to think about that. Um, so let's hear a bit again. The absolute go away, pretty fly, please. The silence of this place. There are some miscellaneous noises here and there, but other than that, this is like a garden. It's a botanical garden full of flowers. There's a ditch there. Don't know if you can see it there. There's a ditch there. What a love. I'll do my own dark moon lunar work and cast off the values I don't need anymore, the currency that is outdated, back into the ether of Earth. That's what I'm gonna do. That's it is a gift of abundance, of release, to find autumn into spring and spring into autumn through the teachings of summer. So before we go fully embodying this amazing upcoming new moon and be really focused on our faith, what we need to disregard from our faith, our own will, and our basically royal magnificence, let's take a step back and listen. Honor silence, worship stillness, give reverence to the feminine. And instead of saying, oh, I feel too much pressure, why don't you give some of that pressure, put it in a cup, give it to the soil. Yeah, when you drink something, take a glass of water, gin, or whatever you're drinking, pour some first to earth, then receive it for yourself. What a wonderful, simple moon. Two moons. The last quarter square, or the waning moon, waning square moon, and this. Look, wind is blowing the dead leaves off the trees. Isn't that beautiful? Be inspired by the relentless cycles of nature, but as a human being, take one step above it and see how it all goes in a spiral. Get out of polarity and step into harmonious evolution. I'm wishing you all the best. Rest easy, sleep more, rest well, take care, and when that new moon hits, go full force ahead. You'll need the energy right now, so rest up. Uh, Thank you all for being here with me in the Transylvanian Botanical Gardens. I am Oli. Reach out to me on Instagram at of_Venus. Book readings for animistic astrology, and reach out to me there for more poetry and conversing and communing through this sacred art. Uh, Own your freedom, worship, and celebrate both life, love, and death equally. Wishing you all the best. Cheers.